Hello friends. Um this video isn't like planned really. I didn't really think about, there's no script, there's nothing. I'm just oh my god, there's a fly that got in. At CRBA here in Toulouse. And I'm gonna repot them because their roots are getting overgrown and they're gonna die if I don't do it. Yeah. And I have like clay pots here. Super nice. I got them for like 0.5 euros or something. One of my friends recently replied to my story asking me how do I, or like in general, how do you get out of a creative block or an art block per se. So I guess this is like a whole conversation, so I really wanted to talk about it. I don't, at first I was thinking, is this like a short video content, or like maybe how do you say this? There's not really much to talk about, but I think there is a lot to talk about, considering that this question is like a never-ending question to how do you say this? You know, like it always gets asked. There's no one answer. It's not really straightforward. It's not like sciencey and everything. But I guess I'm gonna give like some of my sense, and I also would like to hear from people, like what do they think about it, and yeah, and stuff. So I guess I'm just gonna start and go rogue on this. So here on my table, I have like a plasticky papery wax paper wrap that I get whenever I buy flowers. And yeah, so I'm just using that. So I've never repotted plants in my life. I am no expert. My mom has a green thumb, but I don't think I have it. So I'm just going rogue and going with my instincts. I'm a biologist. I hope I have those. I'm just going with my instincts and like, I don't know, like a 10-minute research on the internet. It's said that I have to remove some of the soil. I won't. I'm trying also not to damage the roots and stuff. Okay, so how do you get out of a creative block? I think for me, the first obvious answer to this was keep drawing. Last night I shared an Instagram story from another artist that says, wait, I have to know what it was. Yeah, if you want to be creative, engage in creative activity, do the results have to be good? No. That's from at linescapes.drawing on Instagram. And I shared it because I think it speaks to a lot of levels. That, to be honest, to get out of the, oh me, I lost some roots. It's fine. To get out of a creative block is when we say keep creating or just draw stuff. Okay, so now I'm just putting like some soil here. I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm not sure if this is making sense or if it's like, but we're gonna do it. It looks like right. Yes, okay, we're gonna do that. So like, let's expound on the thing about just create, you know, like to start being creative, you have to just do it. When we say that, I think it's good to remember that being creative doesn't necessarily have to be in the context of like being perfect. I think that's why it's important to say does the output have to be good, you know, whatever it may be. Like for me, I would say that I'm not creative all the time. That is absolutely true. I am a biologist by like profession. And so a lot of my days are very sciencey. And I think I learned the hard way that in my line of work, like if as I stay as a biologist in research, doing research, I'm going to use my brain a lot. And that means like I have to think and do papers, do math, do narratives, like research narratives and everything, do experiments, like 6, 7, 8 hours a day, sometimes even more. And that is super draining. That is super draining, like mentally draining. And that is not necessarily, how do you say this? That is not necessarily good for my creativity because I get really tired at the end of the day. And I remember back when I had my first job in wildlife biology. Art shop. I had to pause my shop for a while because I got a job in wildlife biology. Because of that, I became familiar with getting a really bad creative or art block. I think it's because I'm always so tired and like there's no time to be creative. My brain is always just super logical. Also, there's something about like I can't consume as much art as I used to do. Because after graduating, before getting that work, I was working just on my shop, and it was because I had my shop, I was just working on it for like a long time, and every day I was just drawing or consuming other people's art, supporting their art on the internet, and doing admin stuff like shipping items from your shop and stuff like that. So it's every day, you know, I'm surrounded by inspiration, by other people's art. I go out, I have like so much time to live my life as a human being. And so I never really got a really bad art block that paralyzed me for like months. And then now that I'm more of like the adult that I am, I have to I'm doing my I'm currently in graduate school. I moved to France. And yeah, I'm doing like wildlife biology or like biology in general most of the time now. And so I experience this really, really long creative blocks that I just sometimes feel super frustrated. So with that, I guess the first thing is to yeah, just start drawing something, whatever it is. Now I think I draw mugs all the time, like whenever I'm in a rut, just to jumpstart my mind, my hands, and I think that's something. So go pick something easy, a reference, whatever it is. Just draw something. Exercise your creative mind and your hands. I'm gonna water this afterwards. Let's move on to the next plant. So yeah, next plant. So I guess the next thing I would like to talk about, this is not really a, how do you say this? A super, like, you have to follow it type of situation. But for me, I find it helpful to draw traditionally sometimes. So most of my art that is out there online is digital. So I draw with Procreate, and also with my iPad, and also with Photoshop. So I use Photoshop on my laptop. And a lot of my art, I think also I really started out that way. A lot of my art is digital, basically. And when you're always drawing digital, I think sometimes it's easier to get into that block. I don't know why. I don't know what the explanation of that is, but it's a thing. Keep a sketchbook. And it doesn't even have to be an expensive sketchbook, you know. I have right now, I think, 2 sketchbooks. A big one, like, this is the biggest sketchbook I've ever owned, I think. It's right here. This is the sketchbook. It's a little bit bigger than your typical notebook. I think it's the size of a small, maybe an iPad mini, I don't know. But that's my biggest sketchbook ever. I never bought myself a really huge sketchbook, just because I'm scared of the space. I can't really deal with that mentally. So I never did. But yeah, I have that sketchbook, and I have a smaller one, which is this is like a pocket sketchbook. So I have this smaller one. So the sketchbooks, I think it's a good thing to have them, because when you have a sketchbook, so for me, I think the ideal thing about sketchbooks is that you're allowed to play with whatever your medium is. You're allowed to play with your art, your style, whatever you're doing. So when you add play to things, like when you get to enjoy them more, I think it's like a good thing, because you just get to, you know, like, enjoy the process and not have so much pressure on that. And with the sketchbooks, I know, like, sketchbook tour is a thing, but for me, you don't have to share a sketchbook online. Like, I know, like, as an artist, exposure and, like, being out there is like a big thing. I know that. I've shared some pages of my sketchbook online before, and even now, until now. But you have to remember that your sketchbook is primarily yours, and I just saw this one random time when I was trying to look for what was I looking for? Like just random day in a papeterie in a stationery shop. And then I found it, and well, there's that. I think with sketchbooks, sometimes you can keep a nice sketchbook, but also you can have like how do you say this? A a cheap, ugly sketchbook. I have one of my favorite artists is Fran Meneses. If you know her, she keeps a quote unquote ugly sketchbook. For me, it's not ugly at all. I love all of her things. But it's nice to keep I also got it from one of my favorite artists, which is Fran. It's again Fran. I'm talking about Fran. So I remember she said once to I'm not sure if she used the word study. This is done. It's a bit wilty because I didn't water them today, so I can repot them. So there's that. We're done with two. Yay! We have another one. How do you say this? She said in one of her videos on YouTube or in one of her vlogs to what she likes doing is to just and you see something you like, or like what I like doing is on Instagram when I'm there, or on TikTok, I like see people's art, see their content, and then I see something I like. I usually bookmark it to a folder, and I call it like inspiration, or something to draw, something to study. So you see someone's art, like something to do when you're just consuming art, is to look at the art, like see what you like about them, and then try to draw it on your own, like try to redo it. But something here I think to remind is you don't have to copy it like color by color, or like line by line. Don't trace the art, just do it how you see it, in a way. And in this way, I think you will discover, this is a good exercise, I think, because it keeps your skills, like to practice, like you get to practice your skills in illustrating, but at the same time you also get to explore other people's styles, and with that you get to explore and get to know your own. So like you see an art, sometimes I would redraw them. It's like doing a draw in your style. So you redraw them like however you like, and then you see what you like to change from that artist's perspective. And you know, it's not it doesn't take a lot of creative, like mental gymnastics, because here you're basically you basically have like a basis already, and you're just, you know, reapplying it to yourself. So there's not a lot of thinking of what to draw, where do I start. Your starting point is given, and you just have to show up and do it. So that's one thing. And I think I mentioned about like doing draw this in your style. So this is a thing. I think this is still a thing. I haven't done one in a while. But joining draw in your style challenges on Instagram, on Twitter, is I think a really good exercise, especially when you're in that rut, because it allows you to, you know, again, explore your style. You already have a starting point. You don't have to think original stuff. It's fine. So here, you're still being creative, and there's also that feeling that you're not really, you're still creating, you know. So it makes you feel like, okay, I'm not so bad at all. I still create. You're not totally out of the block, but you're halfway there. Yeah. So we're on our third plant. I was gonna say something, but now I forgot. Literally forgot the train of thought. So the last thing I think I would like to share is to just, in general, be kind to yourself. This is a time when you're in like a creative block. This is the time that you should be kinder to yourself. You should be more patient. So when you're in this phase as an artist, whatever type of artist you are, I think it's super easy to, you know, go into that hateful narrative in your mind, saying that you're not an artist if you don't create art, or like that is so useless if you don't create art. You're wasting your time. And all those like super hateful narratives in your mind telling you about shitty things about your worthiness, who you are as an artist, who you are as a person. It's easy to go that way. And I think it's something that is something that you should also remember during these times is that you're just going through a phase. It comes and goes, it passes. And when it's there, be extra kind to yourself. And remember that this is just a moment in your life. And you can always just settle with the fact, take note that, okay, I'm in a creative rut right now. I have an art block. I have a creative block, whatever that is. Take note and just notice, and that's tell yourself it's okay. That's okay. The world isn't ending. You're still an artist, and now you can try to focus on just living for a moment, like seeing other people's art, or just living as a person, visit museums, spend more time with your friends, do other things. Just be kind to yourself, because the least I think you need is someone or like yourself scolding, like your mind or like your inner saboteur scolding you for not creating art. This is the time to be more supportive than ever to yourself, and just have patience, take your time, and be positive. I know it's not easy. It's so easy to just say that, but in hard days, you can try to do the things that I already said earlier to kind of feel better about stuff. But in other days where it's not bad, or like somebody suddenly asks about your art, what are you working on now, and then you have this sudden attack in your mind that, oh my god, I'm in a creative rut, I'm an artist. Just remind yourself that you're still an artist and it's okay to not create all the time. So yay, we have potted 3 tomato plants. I'm gonna water them now, and that's all. I think I like went all over the place, but I hope I got the message across, and I hope this helps anyone out there suffering through an art block, a creative rut. In whatever phase you may be, you're still an artist. And also, I'm curious, like, since I'm still someone who goes through them sometimes, it's not perfect, sometimes I'm still super hard on myself. I would like to know, like, what do other people do to cope in times like that? Share them. Let's be a community. Anyway, that's all. Love you. Bye.